3 siblings killed, 150 cattle rustled in fresh Plateau attack. Popular social media influencer Bello arrested, released at Kano Airport. Voting ends, sorting, counting begin in Lagos local government elections. On the foreign scene, 4 migrants dead, 20 missing after boat capsizes off Dominican Republic. Good evening. Welcome to Trust News Update. I am Chiamaka Rafo. Thank you for joining us. We'll start over in Plateau, where gunmen have reportedly killed 3 siblings in a fresh attack on Nukro village, located in Jos South local government area of the state. The assailants also rustled over 150 cattle, killing 23 of the cattle in the process. Adam Musa tells us more in this report.
The Plateau State Chairman of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Magban, Ibrahim Babeo, who confirmed the incident to journalists in Jos on Saturday, said the attack occurred on Thursday while the victims were grazing cattle. Babeo said their bodies were later recovered on Friday evening with the help of personnel from Operation Safe Haven, who responded swiftly after a thorough search. Describing the incident as heartbreaking, Babeo alleged that the herders were attacked without provocation and accused members of Birom ethnic group of being behind the attack. However, the president of the Birom Youth Mollahs Association, Daliop Salomon, denied the allegation and urged security agencies to conduct a thorough investigation. The victim's father, Ibrahim Yusuf, recounted how he received the news of the tragic incident. Yesterday around midnight, I was informed that my children had been attacked and killed. I immediately informed security operatives at Sector 6 of Operation Safe Haven, and we moved together to the scene. We discovered that all my children who were rearing the cattle had been killed. We recovered 2 of the bodies and are still searching for the third. Yusuf also confirmed that while some of the rustled cattle have been recovered, over 150 are still missing. We moved with security operatives to the communities believed to have carried out the attack and managed to recover some cattle. However, more than 100 are still missing. The attack has caused us immense damage. Major Samson Zakom, the spokesperson for Operation Safe Haven, whose personnel were involved in the recovery effort, was yet to issue a statement on the attack at the time of filing this report. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Humanitarian support for victims of the recent Yelwata attack in Benue State grows. Affected victims are demanding the rebuilding of the community to facilitate the resettlement to ancestral homes rather than remaining in camps to be fed. This is coming days after reports alleging IDP's rejection of the state government's attempt to return them, citing an unsafe environment and inadequate arrangement for the move. Our correspondent in Benue State visited the area and the Markadi International Market, where some are currently taking refuge, and brings us this report.
It is already a month of mixed feelings and uncertainty for victims of the deadly attack on Yelwata community that claimed over 200 lives, with many displaced.
My humble appeal is that if the government could help us and bring us back to our ancestral home, we were not meant to be in IDPs.
According to the people, the community has continued to experience silent attacks after the June 13 horrific incident that has further aggravated their sufferings. They are calling for the rebuilding of the community, particularly the market, provision of basic amenities, as well as security to assist them live normal lives again.
After the attack, the Fulanis are still coming, eating our farm, entering the villages, the houses that we loan to the town, to the roadside. They normally come there. If you go to look your house, to look one of 2 things in your house, they will shut you down. Even this day, night, around 5 o'clock, they still attack. When we go to bath in our houses here, they attack, they will run back then. The security, they are not serious because they normally stay in the town, drink, They don't want to do what government want them to do or what they brought them to do here. That's our changes.
Every of things have been destroyed, and we are managing from this primary school. Is the place that we are sleeping, and there is no way to go in farm, no way to eat, no way to doing some other things. And now we need the security so that they can help us, because as this thing happen, no way to go farm.
We need to rebuild that market, because when you do that, number one, you are giving us hope. Again, the clinic that I told you that we have a clinic here is down. Nothing is happening here. Part of them is gone down.
The Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction has again visited Yelwata on the directive of the President and reviewed plans to rebuild the community. He said his visit is to ensure the development of a holistic response plan for the community that would cover the peace-building process as well as humanitarian and development response.
We are looking at both the human and material destruction that took place in this place. Human lives were lost, buildings were destroyed, businesses were destroyed, livelihoods were destroyed, and to us as a government we see this as serious and unacceptable, and we must respond to it as quick as possible to restore life, restore security, and ensure that livelihoods return back to these people of this community. And that's why we're here.
For us as a state government, we have already created an enabling environment for them to come and work, and we've since evacuated these people, and we've been taken care of. And you can see we're supporting the federal government. We are going to, like Honorable Minister has said, a response plan. We are working this responsibility for states to also carry out for them to achieve that.
The minister later met with critical stakeholders at Government House Market for needs assessment to the Yelwata attack, where he assured that peace will soon return to Benue ravaged communities.
Lakurawa terrorists on Friday evening killed 3 police officers at Zorima in Boza, local government area of Zamfara State. Kebbi State. According to the Kebbi State Police Command's Public Relations Officer, CSB Nephew Abubakar, a combined team of policemen engaged the suspected Lakurawa in a fierce gun drill while they attempt to attack commuters plying Zogrima-Tili Road. In the ensuing exchange, Abubakar said several suspected Lakurawa bandits were neutralized while others escaped to the nearby forest with fatal injuries, noting that the 3 brave police officers lost their lives. He added that the Zogrima Divisional Police Officer promptly mobilized a team of policemen and rushed to the scene with a reinforcement from number 36 Police Mobile Force Squadron, bringing Kebbi, while the bandits fled to nearby forest. The State Commissioner of Police CP Bello M. Sani, while commending the resilience, bravery and sacrifice of the dead officers, prayed for their souls to have eternal rest. He equally called on residents to remain vigilant and report suspicious activities to the nearest police station for prompt response. Nigeria has continued to bolster its criminal justice system, securing convictions for 44 out of 54 individuals recently arraigned in Phase 7 of the Kainji Detention Facility terrorism trial. This is contained in a statement by the head of Strategic Communication, National Counter-Terrorism Center, Office of the National Security Advisor, Michael Abu, on Saturday in Abuja. Abu said the remaining 10 cases were adjourned during proceedings held across 4 courts, presided over by 4 Federal High Court judges. He said the country had, with the recent 44 convictions, secured a total of 785 cases involving terrorism financing and other terrorism-related offenses. This, according to him, reflects the country's intensified efforts to combat violent extremism, dismantle funding networks, and strengthen national security through judicial enforcement. Popular social media influencer Bello Habib Galadanchi, widely known as Dan Bello, was briefly arrested by security operatives on Saturday at the Malamaminu Kano International Airport. The incident, which occurred shortly after his arrival, caused a stir among passengers and airport staff who watched as officials, believed to be from the Department of State Services, moved in swiftly to take him away. Eyewitnesses said the operatives, suspected to have come from Abuja, apprehended the content creator without offering any immediate explanation, leaving onlookers confused. However, a close associate of Galadanchi, who spoke to Trust TV in condition of anonymity, confirmed that he had been released shortly after the arrest. Bello is well known across northern Nigeria for his comedic and satirical skits, often touching on topical social and political issues. As of the time of filing this report, the reason for his brief arrest had not been officially disclosed by the authorities, and the DSS has not released any statement regarding the incident. Over in Lagos State, voting has officially ended in Saturday's local government elections. Voting lasted 6 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as directed by the Electoral Umpire, the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission, LISEC. Voting took place in 20 local government areas and the 37 local council development areas of the state. 15 parties were confirmed to have participated in the elections across the state, but low voter turnout marred the election. Earlier, the state governor Sanwo-Olu and his wife Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu cast their votes at polling units 06 and 07 at St. Stephen Nursery and Primary School on Adeniji Adele Road, Lagos Island. The Deputy Governor Kadri Hamzat cast his vote at his polling center in Okebalogun, Ekpe at 11:05 a.m.
Maybe there are one or two logistics in one or two places, but I think they also resolved it. That was actually military or civil power left. You know how typical it is. Early morning, vehicular movements, the force will not come on time. And we're also glad about the weather. So I expect that time will be.
I think the turnout is encouraging. Like I said, it's too early to say. But in this place, I think it's not bad. But we shall see what happens in other areas. The logistics has to be done. Okay, so not all of them could come here and sleep overnight. So, it's it has started, and we just hope that it goes so well. And people are still out.
Two more stories. Active citizenship in Nigeria requires participation of citizens in their communities and governance. This is achieved by exercising rights, fulfilling responsibilities, and contributing to the well-being of society. In this report, experts call for proper enlightenment of citizens to understand their rights and responsibility in order to be equipped with the knowledge to hold their leaders accountable. Trust TV's Bello tells us more in this report.
Citizens are expected to engage with government, advocating for positive change and contributing to community development. This means participation in election, community activities, and hold elected officials accountable. However, the questions remain whether Nigerians are educated enough to influence government's policies and decisions.
It will be very difficult for citizens to hold government responsible due to lack of knowledge. When I say knowledge, I mean basic knowledge.
People, and especially youth, lacking orientation. They don't know what is the role to play, neither to hold the government accountable, because they need orientation. They are powerless. In fact, some that are taught are scared to speak out because of the political intimidation.
So we are still finding it difficult to get it right. Not that there is no space for people to vent their opinion or to hold the government accountable, but the issue of individual understanding about governance, that is what the government are capitalizing on.
Nigeria is a country where many religions are being practiced. The dominants are Islam and Christianity, whose members formed part of the citizens. But has religions provide citizens with the knowledge to interrogate government policies?
We have given them the mandates. And so, every master is supposed to ask his steward or servant to give an account of their own stewardship. And I believe also it's a way of life for Christians as well. If we read Romans chapter 14, verse 12, there the word of God says, so then every one of us will give an account of himself. So accountability is a way of life for the Christian. Or maybe you consider Luke chapter 12, verse 48. There it says, to whom much is given, much is expected. And therefore, we should call them to account, for their stewardship and the period of their serving us.
Rights goes with responsibility, with duty. So if it is the right of the citizens to be protected, the government to protect them, their life and their safety, then it is also the responsibility of the citizen to hold government responsibility, to ask government,
So it doesn't mean you should go the violent way. No, it's not like that. It's not done in a civilized world. You have to call that person you elected into that House Assembly or the Senate or the reps. Sat him down within the community. You now bring in this issue that was being said during his campaign period. So that you now begin to itemize everything. The point one is there, he has completed it. What about the point two, and so on and so forth?
The gap between the government and the grassroots is getting wider and does not allow citizens to influence government decisions. Aminu Abdurrashid is a legal practitioner. He says it is the constitutional right of the citizens to hold their leaders accountable.
For example, in Nigeria, there was an enactment of law that is called Freedom of Information Act, which empowers the citizens to demand for information of how the affairs, how the resources of any government organization, department, or in fact even at the state or federal level is being managed.
According to stakeholders, lack of access to information and poor enlightenment that will ensure inclusive participation are some of the factors hindering citizens' participations. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The administrator of Rivers